Everybody, welcome back to the wonderful Hogwarts Legacy, and we are of course in Hogsmeade, the little town just outside of Hogwarts Castle, which opens up fairly early in the game, and there are some very important shops and traders here. So in this video I just want to kind of discuss the sort of things they sell, or sort of, and why you're going to visit them. Now, we will be discussing spoilers in this video, so if you want to avoid those, please just turn off the video now. Okay, so let's jump into the map, and let's go straight north first. So right north of Hogsmeade we have Dogweed and Deathcap. Now, at this little shop you can buy the seeds for the attack plants that you can use in combat. So you can buy the seeds for the Mandrake, the Chomping Cabbage, and the, I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's like Ventriculus Tentaculus. That's the big plant that fires off the acid. Very useful. And in Hogwarts Legacy, if you don't know already, potions and the combat plants are integral to winning lots of the encounters. But if you throw out a couple of chomping cabbages, if you throw out a couple of the acid plants, if you use a mandrake, and if you take a potion that makes you invulnerable and one that increases the power of your spells, you'll find the combat much easier. So coming south we then have Brood and Peck. So this is where you're going to get anything to do with the beasts that you can capture and you can domesticate later on in the game, and if you collect too many beasts, this is where you can go and you can sell them and they will have a good life afterwards. Then we have Madam Snellings, which is where you go to change your hairstyle, you kind of the look of your face and your eyebrows. Then we have Gladrags Wizardwear, and this is where you can go and you can buy different things. Also, you can go and sell things, remember, all of these traders, so to earn money. Coming out to the west we have the Magic Neep. Now this is where you're going to buy the seeds that you're going to use to grow the kind of, in inverted commas, normal plants in Hogwarts Legacy. So again, what happens later on in the game, and again this is a big spoiler, you're going to open up somewhere called the Room of Requirement, which is basically your base, and in your Room of Requirement you can conjure up things like potting tables where you can grow things, and you grow things like the Mandrake, you can grow things like the Chomping Cabbages, and you can grow things like the Ventriculus Tantacula, the acid plant. But you can also grow normal plants as well, such as the sort of various herbs and plants you need to make certain potions, and you get those seeds from the Magic Neep. Now, coming across the J Pippins Potions, these are very important because not only can you buy ready-made potions from J Pippins, but you can also buy the recipes for potions. So again, later on in the game, when you unlock the Room of Requirements, you can you can conjure up potion mixing stations, where as long as you know the recipe for a potion and you have the ingredients for a potion, you can then make that potion. But again, you can only do that once you've bought the recipe for it itself. Now, Ollivanders, this is where you're going to get your wand, and where you can get different cosmetics for wands as well. And then we have Spintwiches Sporting Needs. Now, this doesn't open up until fairly early in the game, but not straight away. And this is where you're going to get your broom. So when you've done your the flying lesson at the Quidditch pitch, you'll then have the ability to come here and you can buy a broom, and you also come back here if you want to buy any of the different brooms, but also to upgrade your broom. Now, the performance of all the basic brooms is the same, but the way they get better is when you get upgrades, and you get upgrades by doing the things that the fella who owned this asked you to. And then we have tomes and scrolls to kind of finish things off. Now, tomes and scrolls, they sell you they're called spellcasts, but they're almost like blueprints. So when you open up your Room of Requirement and you want to conjure things in, so you want to conjure in things like different potion workstations, if you want to conjure in the bigger potting tables for the bigger plants. So for example, although you can grow mandrakes in any size pot, even the small ones. If you want to grow chomping cabbages, and you need a medium pot, and if you want to grow the big acid plant, you need the big pot. So you come to Tomes and Scrolls, you buy the spellcraft, or in effect the blueprint for that particular item, then you can go back to your room of requirement, and then you can conjure that thing up. Also, you can have things like the pots that will automatically make spells for you, potions for you, sorry. You can have the chopping tables that automatically create ingredients for you. There's all sorts of different stuff, and what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to go back to my room of requirements so you kind of see how all these things come together. Now it can, as I say, get a little bit confusing, but just to go over it one more time then. So you've got Tomes and Scrolls. This is the guy that tells you kind of the blueprints to make the things that are going to go in your room of requirement. You've got Spintwiches, which is your broom, Ollivanders, which is your wand, Pippins, which is, you can buy potions, but you buy the recipes for potions, the Magic Neep, where you buy the seeds for growing normal herbs and plants that you use in potions, Madam Snellings, where you can get a haircut, Gladrags, where you can get different clothes, Brood and Peck, where it's anything to do with beasts, so you can sell beasts, and you can buy things like some of the ingredients for the potions that come off beasts, like feathers and hair, you can get from her as well. And if you capture too many beasts, you can take it to Brood and Peck and sell them to her, and she'll give them a good home. And then finally back to Dogweed and Deathcap, which is where you buy the seeds for the magic plants that you use in combat, such as the Mandrake, the Chomping Cabbage, and the acid spitting plant. Okay, so that is all the traders. So let's go to... Again, this is a big spoiler now, so if you don't want the spoiler, look away. So this is my room of requirements, so you can see some of these things in action. Okay, so what we've got here, this is a device that, again, you can buy the blueprint of it, that makes moonstones for you. And moonstones are kind of the fuel you use to conjure things in the room of requirement. Here we have a potting table, which is growing some Disney leaves. This is a chopping table which automatically creates things. Every 9 minutes I get some ingredients for potions. These are bigger potting tables, so there's the Venomous Tantacula. Here's another potting table with a chomping cabbage on. Here's one with a shrivel fig, an ingredient for potions. This has got a mandrake, another shrivel fig, another mandrake. These hopping cauldrons, these produce a random potion about every 12 minutes. Very powerful. Very, very good. I think I might be full of folk. Am I full of poke? No, got that one. Then we've got a Maxima. Highly recommend you get these. Now, they're very expensive to buy. I think they're at... Alright, we're full of Maxima potions. How about this one? I think we're full there as well. Let's have a look. Not quite. Oh, that one's still brewing. These are my potion stations. This is the... I can't remember what that's called. That identifies gear. You know when you have unidentified gear? And we have another place that makes moonstones. There's the loom that you can upgrade your stuff with. And then out here, this is where I keep my animals. And so with the animals, you can feed them, you can groom them, and then they will give you stuff. So for example, if the Thestral, if I feed him and I groom him, he'll let me take some of his feathers. And all the animals have different things, and it's all rather wonderful. So there you go. That is the different traders and shops in Hogsmeade explained. What they sell and what it kind of leads to, which is this experience where really you're becoming almost self-sufficient in ingredients for potions, which is pretty cool, and obviously having things like all the aggressive combat plants that you use. Highly recommend that, if you're not making the most of your room of requirement, get down to it, because it is a lot of fun, and you come back here and you can replenish all of your supplies. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hopefully you found that useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.